Pre-season testing for the 2021 Formula 1 season has come to an end. Months of hard work and preparation by the teams have been tried and tested out on track for the first time. Now, I decided to take a different route to most other content creators when releasing my predictions video. Instead of guessing where a team might finish based on last season, I wanted to wait and see the cars lapping around before coming to any conclusions. But, having seen how basically everyone is not showing their true hand, it's very difficult to gauge where they all stack up. This upcoming Formula 1 season has me feeling more anticipation than a Game 7 of the NBA Finals. The element of unpredictability this year especially is immense. So, with just 2 weeks to go until lights out, here are my top 10 F1 season predictions for 2021. Now, just before we get into it, I want to ask those of you watching to consider subscribing to the channel and hitting the bell to keep up to date with the latest content. As of recording, 74% of you watching aren't subscribed, and I wouldn't want for any of you to miss out on the videos I have in store for the future. Also, be sure to follow my other social media pages, all of which you can find links to in the description below. But without further ado, let's get into the predictions. Number 1. The championship fight will go down to the last race of the season. Lewis Hamilton versus Max Verstappen. It's the battle we've all been waiting for. The young pretender going head to head against the king of Formula 1. We have seen these two battle it out on track in the past, giving us a mere glimpse as to just how spectacular a show they can put on. Both men possess an extraordinary amount of talent. The only difference is that one has more experience than the other. Therefore, my money is on Lewis to secure an unprecedented 8th World Championship. However, Red Bull are coming off of the best preseason test they've had in the turbo hybrid era. The car has looked very well balanced most of the time, and on the final day of running, they were mighty. It seems as if they have adapted very well to the new technical regulations, and the car has suffered less of a reduction in downforce due to their high rake philosophy. With the Honda engine brought forward from 2022 and a much stronger second driver in Sergio Perez, the team based in Milton Keynes looks set to start the season with a bang. In contrast, Mercedes struggled a lot more than we're used to seeing. The reigning world champions completed the least number of laps in pre-season with 304 compared to Red Bull's 369 and sister team AlphaTauri's 422. A gearbox problem for Valtteri Bottas on Friday left him restricted to just 6 laps, and a spin for Hamilton on the morning of day 2 also set back their progress. The car appeared to have a very skittish and unstable rear that has the team confused as to why. While it appears that at this present moment in time, Red Bull have the upper hand, it's important to remember that Mercedes are no strangers to turning around a deficit. You don't win 7 straight Constructors championships for no reason. I'm sure they'll be just fine come qualifying on Saturday, but they won't have it all their own way this season. Number 2. Sergio Perez will win the Mexican Grand Prix. Can you imagine the scenes if this actually happened? Sergio Perez, Mexico's most successful Formula 1 driver and a man whose skill has been criminally underrated for years. After driving his heart out last season, Red Bull decided to take him on for 2021 to play a better supporting role to Verstappen. He may not be the quickest over one lap or the flashiest overtaker, but the dude has incredible racecraft. I'm talking tyre management, consistency, intelligent decision making, you name it. He is a mastermind behind the wheel of a Formula 1 car and knows how to capitalize on situations. Given how well Red Bull normally go around the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez, I can definitely see Checo finishing on the podium and, better yet, standing on the top step. Number 3. Both George Russell and Nicholas Latifi will score points. The Williams FW43B admittedly did struggle in the gusty conditions of Bahrain, with George Russell coming to the conclusion that their performance will yo-yo over the course of the year. In neutral conditions or when the wind is in an advantageous direction, the car is really fast. However, Mother Nature is never going to provide perfect conditions 100% of the time. I expect there to be very high highs, but also very low lows. And on the days when they do have the pace to score points, I believe that both drivers will step up to the plate. We all know how much of a talent George Russell is, so I'm confident in saying that he will definitely score points for Williams this year. As for Nicholas Latifi, he actually had more P11s than his teammates and was surprisingly close on race pace in his rookie season. Now he has more experience under his belt, I can see him scoring at least 2 points in his second year. Probably their best shot at achieving this will be at the Made in Italy and Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix, given that the track is in a sheltered location and suits the car's characteristics. Let's hope we can see Russell redeem himself after last year. #redemption for Russell. Number 4. Haas will have the worst year yet. This one is relatively obvious considering the team have publicly come out and said they aren't spending any development tokens and focusing more on 2022. There is a small glimmer of hope in the newly improved Ferrari engine, but other than that, not much will change. They also have 2 rookies on board, therefore they won't have the kind of reference they'd get from a veteran driver. One of those rookies is Formula 2 champion Mick Schumacher, and the other is, well, yeah. What will be interesting to see is just how fiery this rivalry gets. Mick isn't known for getting up to speed as quickly as some of the other drivers, and might have his work cut out against his teammates. The 21-year-old German says he feels ready and is looking forward to his debut race in Formula 1. Let's hope that he will be the shining light for Haas in a season that will surely be full of difficulty. Number 5. McLaren will win multiple races. McLaren are coming off their best championship campaign since 2012. After observing how smoothly their preseason running went, I think they've actually made inroads on Mercedes and Red Bull to become a standalone Tier 2 team. The MCL35M turned heads in the paddock with their innovative new diffuser, which has been cleverly designed to work around the mandatory 50mm shortening of the strakes. Combine this with an upgrade to Mercedes engines, and McLaren have a real shot at returning to winning ways. Their new star driver Daniel Ricciardo knows exactly how to do that, and his current form suggests that he's capable of pushing a team to new heights. Lando Norris is also looking to establish himself against one of the best on the grid, which will motivate him to improve even faster. We know how much the team benefited from having 2 drivers with a near perfect working dynamic. Being able to share and compare data to optimize setup during a race weekend was at the core of their success. Therefore, with an easygoing Aussie on board, they will likely benefit from a similar driver dynamic between Lando and Daniel. Number 6. Yuki Tsunoda will finish on the podium in his rookie season. This one might seem like a far cry, but I believe that this man, Yuki Tsunoda, is the real deal. Seeing him put on a thrilling display in the final hour of testing highlighted just how exciting he is. His rapid rise through the feeder series also backs his huge potential. The AlphaTauri looks very quick and easy to drive, so I expect they will be right in the thick of the midfield battle. It will be a big challenge given who's on the other side of the garage and the other competitors. But Yuki is someone who does not back down from anything or anyone. I like his approach, quietly confident. He doesn't blow his own horn, but simply gets on with the task at hand. Usually, he doesn't take long to get up to speed, so expect to see him beating the big guns in no time at all.
Okay, the day we get beat by somebody who's born 2000 and upwards.
I know, freaking heck.
It's time.
Yeah.
Number 7. Fernando Alonso will break Esteban Ocon. Alpine was another team that stood out in testing. They racked up a total of 396 laps and managed to run through their intense program without any significant problems. During his time in the car, Alonso looked as if he'd never left, as he tallied an impressive 127 laps on Saturday alone. In his words, the car feels good, and according to Mark Badowski, Alonso is extremely motivated and happy within the garage. Esteban is a driver whom I've always rated highly. However, after last year's thrashing from Daniel Ricciardo, this will be a crucial year for his future. He is now the driver with experience in the team, therefore, there shouldn't be any excuses for not delivering. I don't think he will underperform this year, but I do think that Alonso will make him look worse than he is, which ultimately might lead to his downfall. Fernando's also coming back with a chip on his shoulder. He doesn't want his career to be defined by his years at McLaren, hence his extreme motivation. I hope I'm proved wrong, but I honestly can't see a way for Ocon to overcome his teammates. Number 8. The real Sebastian Vettel will make a return. Preseason testing was not as ideal as it could have been for the four-time world champion. He racked up less laps than any other driver with 117 compared to Gasly's 237. As a result, they didn't manage to get everything they had planned done in time due to reliability issues. However, Vettel remained upbeat about their chances as he felt that, despite the setback, it was still a productive test. Nevertheless, on a personal level, this will be a great year for Seb. After a dismal fallout with Ferrari in 2020, question marks remain over Vettel's form. But this wasn't representative of what he's capable in the right car and environment. Now he has that with Aston Martin, we will most likely see him back to his best and battling it out with an old foe of his in the midfield. Number 9. Ferrari won't improve on their Constructors position from last year. Ferrari do have reason to be optimistic. Their new engine is said to have gained an extra 20 to 30 bhp from last year, and the car is no longer as draggy. They are also pleased with the correlation between their wind tunnel and sim work compared to the data out on track, and the car's rear end is much stabler. However, relative to other teams, I don't think they've made the kind of progress as they'd hoped. I think this will be another season where Leclerc's heroics carry the car to results that it shouldn't achieve, and with Carlos now joining the Scuderia, they should have another driver scoring solid points. But looking at the level of competition around them, I don't think it will be enough for them to overcome. Number 10. Silly season will be even crazier than last year. 10 drivers will be out of a contract come the end of 2021. Stroll, Tsunoda, Perez, Ocon, Gasly, Raikkonen, Giovinazzi, Bottas, Russell, and Hamilton. Depending on how well Checo does against Verstappen, Red Bull will either decide to keep him for another year or promote Tsunoda if he impresses in his debut season. I doubt Raikkonen will stay with Alfa Romeo, opening up a seat for you-know-who. Pierre Gasly will be looking to secure a seat at a big team, Alpine. And Mercedes has 3 drivers in contention for 2022 drives. This will depend mainly on whether Lewis decides to continue or not, but it's highly likely that George Russell will make the step up to the senior team ahead of the new regulations. With the livery launches, filming days, and testing out of the way, the next time we see the 2021 cars will be for the Bahrain Grand Prix. I hope you're as excited as I am for the season to get underway. If you liked this video, then be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel to keep up to date with the latest stories throughout the year. And as always, I'll see you in the next one.